What's going on, traders? Welcome back to another live stream here. Happy Tuesday, April 8th. If you're new, my name is Zach. This is Real Deal Futures. Make sure you read what's on the screen before we jump onto the charts. Trading's risky. Most traders do lose money. I'm not a financial advisor. I don't provide financial advice. Nothing I say or do is a recommendation or suggestion to do anything here or anywhere else. I'm just an idiot here on YouTube. Do your own research, make your own trading decisions. Read CFTC Rule 4.41 on simulated trading, which is what this is, even in funded prop firm accounts, and the affiliate and partnership disclaimer that says I stand to make money from links in my content like Top 1 Futures, that code that you see up above me, RDF, and the links in my content. Now, let's hop onto the charts. Markets are open and the markets are moving. Let me just adjust that screen a little bit there. Make sure you guys can hear me. What's up? What's up? What's up, Wolf? What's up, everybody? Appreciate y'all hopping on as always. Let me make sure I can see this with you guys here. Yeah, I got a 3-pack of 150K straight to funded accounts with Top 1 Futures loaded up. If you guys want to check these out for yourself, you can go ahead and do that. The link is pinned in the chat. 50% off plus a chance to win one of 5 50K eval accounts. So, markets are open. Markets are moving. We are trading in some wild markets. I got some additional markup on my chart just to keep a frame of reference of what's going on here. Yesterday was absolutely insane. Did end up red here on the stream, just under 500 bucks in one account. See what we could do today. Wild markets, absolutely wild markets. Just absolutely ripping our face off. Selling off, extreme crack to the upside, sell back off. News, fake news. This person said tariffs. This person makes a threat. Just craziness. But here we are, opened up right now. Let me go ahead and just zoom out first before we get this show started. Hit save there. I'm getting a little bit of lag on this one. Hang tight with me, guys. Let's see. There we go. Now we're moving. Yeah, a little bit of delay. Sometimes I open my charts up and I don't refresh them for a while. I do my markup and then I kind of just start to let it run. So that could be the case, but yeah, it looks like we are. No, I'm getting some delay here. I'm getting some delay here on my Project X platform. Let's see if I can compare this against something. Want to get some analysis and into some trading here, but as you can see, I'm dealing with some delay. So hang tight, guys. Let me see what this looks like. Let me try to open up a fresh tab. Apologies, guys. We're gonna get this show moving. Got to make sure we can trade first, right? Let's throw this back over here. Give me 2 seconds, guys. Let me try to open up a fresh page here and get this thing rolling. Welcome to the show. It's okay. Markets aren't going anywhere, man. We got time. I don't like to jump right into the open, and I do like to let the market open up. So here we go. Chart's moving. There we go. I'm comparing against Bookmap, which I have running to the side. That looks good. Looks like we're getting real-time data. Yeah, if I get any lag there, I'll let you guys know. I do like to be cautious of that. Markets are trading with extreme volatility. So yesterday, for example, we saw, or I saw, a lot of people talking about issues across platforms. Definitely saw a little bit of lag on Project X, but again, extreme market volatility, really low liquidity. We saw the NQ DOM yesterday, looked absolutely insane. I think that can just add to it, kind of exacerbate the problem. But not fun when it happens in any event. So let's just kind of zoom out. I'll throw like a 4-hour chart on here. We can kind of do a zoom out here. We know what's been going on, right? We know we've been selling off day over day, week over week. We know we sold off to the bottom here really aggressively. We could take a look at what we did yesterday and then into overnight, just from a higher time frame perspective here. We did crack to the upside, came back down, but then we kind of drifted, right? We kind of chopped towards the end of the session yesterday around that VWAP line. While we did push up over here, we kind of came back down and chopped around. Overnight, we did drift higher. Right into pre-market, we are seeing a pop to the upside. and now just a little bit of a retest. So initially, I am looking long on this, despite this being a wild downturning market, a lot of selling pressure. This would be counter to the overall higher time frame trend, but right here, right now, we are continuing to push to the upside. We got a little bit of a break and retest. I'm probably going to settle on a 1 minute and 15-minute chart side by side, because we just have so much movement. It's really hard to take a look at where we are on a 1 minute chart and really understand from a higher time frame perspective. And I'm going to try not to get caught in the insane volatility that we could see. So what I have on my chart here, not much additional today, just a couple of markings from a zoomed out higher time frame perspective on this volume profile. We've really been disrespecting like everything under the sun except volume. I do see the volume profile continue to be respected. Areas of high volume on the chart continually come into play. So I'll just zoom out. I'll kind of show you where I have some of these levels coming from. I think this would obviously be a really big far move to the upside if we can reset. There we go. Yeah, I'm probably going to adjust this one right here. And I appreciate you guys hopping on. Smash the like button, smash subscribe. I'll say what's up in the chat. I'm going to throw this off the bottom here. Just a couple discretionary zones, right? Levels that I want to pay attention to. Outside of my prior day high and overnight high, which are right up here. And if we get above that, I don't have anything to the upside to pay attention to on low time frames. So I want something on my chart. We're retesting this area right here. If we start to push to the downside, obvious area coming off this consolidation around VWAP, really zoomed out in the 15-minute here. But I'm tempted to zoom out a little bit and kind of just run this from a higher time frame. But we'll kind of see how this starts to develop. Yeah, let me go side by side on this. Let's set this up nicely. Let's go 1 minute right here. I can answer any questions on how to do this if you want to be able to run side by side charts yourself. It's just a chart layout, just a different setting in the chart layout. Nice. So now I don't have to make you guys dizzy. I can watch what's happening from a price action perspective here over to the side on the 15-minute chart. Looking at more zoomed out levels, and then I can also get a more granular, I want to do that, more granular view here on the 1 minute chart. Just kind of watch price action and structure as we start to come back up out of this level. I'm tempted long on this. I am tempted long on this. I'm going to let it open up. We're at 9:42. I'm going to give this a little bit of time. I really don't want to get involved too quickly. I think we can still see a lot of volatility, although this isn't crazy. It's somewhat of a muted open. We kind of calmed back down today. I like that. Not so wild of a ride, but let's see what we get here. Good morning, Jess. Good morning, John. Good morning, Relaxing Zen. What's up, guys? What's up? What's up? Appreciate you being on here. Yeah, just watching this thing open up. Again, talking markets, thought process for today. I'm trying to stay somewhat unbiased and just flow with the market, right? I really don't want to try to make a higher time frame call to the upside or downside, and really just attempt to flow with what the market's doing on the low time frames. Not try to catch the entirety of the move. I'm going to say middle time frame, right? Because I'm going to really also take a look at this 15-minute chart. And also try to have a little bit more zoomed out, but I'm not going to try to say we go up or down on the day. We're going to have a massive sell-off or a massive pump. I'm going to try to catch a portion of the move that makes sense to me in a way that I could structure risk. Same stuff that I apply every day. I'm tempted long on this. Again, right now, coming back up through this area of high volume to check out prior day high. This is just a little bit early to hop in with a stop right here. We did test this level that I had marked before we jumped on. This area of high volume, if I zoom out on the 15-minute chart, it's coming from structure over to the left, outside of just this structure right here. But I'm not going to jump into it just yet. I'm going to let this open up, see what happens, and then maybe go from there. Take a trade farther up to the upside if we are going to continue to break. But we didn't come back down to retest VWAP. I think this is a level that is in play if we are going to, in fact, push to the upside. I think it would be unlikely that we at least don't come down and fake everybody out, take everybody out that's getting long. So we'll have to see. What's up? What's up, guys? Shape your future. What's happening? Appreciate you guys being on with me. I will also let you know we only have, while we're waiting for this market to open up, see, we got 4 days left to take advantage of this real quick, guys. Link is in the chat. Link is everywhere, pinned in the chat. 550K accounts getting given away by Top 1 Futures. You have to make a purchase to be entered to win. Every purchase enters you to win one of these. These are the eval, the elite accounts. But you also get 50% off straight to funded with Project X on Top 1. I'm super bullish on this. I am partnered. I can't be unbiased. I stand to make money. It's all important to know. But I'm here trading live with these ones. I'm super excited about the opportunity that we have here with Top 1. So if you guys want to check that out, link is in the description, in the chat as well. Yeah, again, guys, I'm tempted long on this. I was tempted long on it right here. After a retest of this level, kind of coming up through this being the 15-minute opening range low, anticipating, where's our 930 candle, that, you know, this overnight high is going to be around our high, and we're going to come and check that out. It would give me a way to structure risk here. It's just a little bit aggressive. I don't know that I want to take an L right off the rip. It's just a little bit early for me and what I like to do, how I like to play these opens, but this is what that would have looked like because I'm not going to take it. You know, right off that candle, stop loss right below here, you know, take profit right up here, coming above to crack this. Again, retesting this area of high volume, staying above VWAP, drifting to the upside overnight, and pushing the upside at pre-market, and a continuation of the upside. It's just a little early, man. Oftentimes we see a lot of volatility in the first 15 minutes of the session. I try to be cautious getting involved. So I really like to wait, just kind of let the market open up, let the craziness happen, not jump right in, and then start to take trades. I just find that taking a trade in the first like 5, 10, 15 minutes, oftentimes you can just get wicked out so quickly, and it sets a tough tone, honestly. And maybe that's just a practical mindset thing, right? Like the data would support taking a trade potentially. But I just know that if I take that first quick L immediately, like right off the bat, it can kind of just shape the rest of your session in a little bit of a negative light. So I'm going to watch what happens here. And again, I don't know how much edge there is right in the first 10 to 15 minutes of the session, right? It's just very volatile, especially in these market conditions where, you know, we are being cautious. But this is going to give me a second opportunity, right? You know, the entry would have been right here maybe if it was pretty solid off the top of this candle. Like the 54, I'm not going to jump into anything just yet. Taking a look at Bookmap, we do have some building to the upside. Yeah, I wasn't really keeping an eye on Bookmap here. 29, we came and filled. Oh, excuse me, 52. What was I looking at? 29 there. Let's get at 59, 59.25. 52.60. We filled some liquidity to the upside there. We have some more right up above current price. And then at the 52.75s, you know, 52.75 and a half, right around that overnight high level. And then up above that, at the 5,300 level, big round psychological number, we got another stack of orders to the upside on that. So I could go for a pullback down, some kind of wick below here, and then continuation. I'm in long. I'm not taking it from here. This is, you know, that one that I just mapped out. That's first opportunity. I'm going to wait. We have no wick to the downside on this 15-minute candle. Is that what we're looking at here? Yeah, I think we're going to come wick back down first. And if we get that, I may look for it long. Again, why? Why would I take a long here, guys? Above VWAP, right? Break and retest of an area of volume here and continuation to the upside. If I zoom out more than that to make the case for it, we have pushed the upside overnight, not really aggressively, but drifted higher. We're opening up high relative to yesterday's daily candle, yesterday's range, right? Prior day highs right there. We have, you know, again, drifted higher overnight session through London and Asia. Now we are pushing the upside at pre-market, opening up kind of choppy, breaking and retesting, but now looking like we want to continue. And along with that, I have Bookmap showing me levels to the upside here. Yeah, this looks like we might want to try it, man. This looks like we might want to try it. we come back up to the upside, I may give this a shot. Something like 100 tick stop. Yeah, and again, guys, going to put a little bit more risk on in these accounts. I am trading a 3-pack, copy traded together here, and would like to get some risk on. So we'll see what we can do. See what we can do. Not pushing the upside just yet. I'm kind of watching how we start to form after this pullback here. If we start to come back down through this low, I'm gonna have to give it some time. I think again, maybe a retest of this level here. I would potentially look to take this the other way. I wouldn't mind a short back down towards VWAP if we start to aggressively sell. I think we could easily come and retest this level. But I'm gonna start to let this open up, and we'll kind of see what we get here, guys. Pushing back to the upside, a little choppy here. Just answering a question here. Yeah, this looks like a break to the upside. I'm tempted to take it from this level. I think we're going to fill these to the upside here. Looking at this long, guys. I'm in long on this, guys. Gonna go with a fairly tight stop, pretty decent amount of risk. I don't know that I would hold on to this all day, but that's a retest down around this level and buyers taking it higher. I'm taking this on a breakout to the upside here. Would really like to see this to continue right now. We have liquidity right here at the 68 level, at the 70s. We have liquidity up above that at the 75s, at the 80s. Looks like we got stuff up above that to the upside. I like this for a breakout to the upside. Conversely, if we have to come back down and challenge VWAP, I'm out for an L, and I'm just coming in too early. There we go. Okay, liquidity at 75. That stuff that was at 60, 68, 68, 69 was taken. We got a lot up here at the 75s. I'm going to hold for a breakthrough, but this could be trouble. Let's see if we can't get a run towards prior day high, and I'll look to grab some profit on this bad boy. Again, watching Bookmap closely on this one. Yeah, we started to come into that. Obviously, some sell orders providing some resistance up there. This could look good to the upside if we start to crack it. So let's see what we get. Let's see, but I'm long. 3 from 52.65 and a quarter. Stop at 52.37 and a quarter. Can we get the breakout to the upside? Can we get the breakout to the upside? Let's take a look here, guys. And I'll read the chat. I'll be talking with you guys in a moment here. Again, if we have to just consolidate here and then wick lower, I'm out. You know, it'll be tough. But I got to flow with the market here. Opened up, pulled back, tested this level, right, from a higher time frame perspective. Pulled up, faked everybody out first, didn't go and get it there, pulled all the way back down, didn't break the low, continuing to the upside. If we just expand and we kind of chop back and forth, I'm taking the loss. You know, that's going to be that. I really do like this to the upside with the 52.75s there. It would be sweet if we can go and snag through this, to crack through this, because I think we're quickly going to go check out 80, potentially 85, and see some movement to the upside. It could be a quick run towards this round psychological number where we have quite a bit of liquidity on Bookmap as well, sitting up here. I'm going to show you what this looks like quick. This is what I'm looking at, guys. Again, we came up and grabbed this around the 68, 69 level. We have been eating up some of this to the upside. We came up to start to challenge it here. But these are orders that look like they may want to get filled. Now, they can act as resistance, right? We can kind of come up into it and have what we have happening right now, where we find a lot of resistance and just aggressively sell off. These can fill, and then we can aggressively sell off, right? Because these are sell orders, right? These are orders on the book above price to sell, resting in the market. But in a day like today, where we're starting to break to the upside, market structure, price action, the volume tools that I use are supporting a move to the upside. I want to try to hold into this. I'm cautious breaking through it into the 80s. I think we might see a pullback down. If we go and do this, we could just turn on a dime from here. But I'm going to be cautious on the next 10 points up here. Would probably, if we get a breakthrough and this doesn't turn around on me, would probably look to manage this somewhat aggressively as far as, yeah, I might take some profit right up here, guys. Here we go. Do we have some iceberging here? Iceberging. Yeah, we're struggling to get through this. This could be some iceberg orders up here. We came into it. I'll show you what I'm talking about too after this. We came into it, sat there for a minute. The orders looked like they started to fill, but the quantity didn't drop on the book. That would indicate that more orders are getting added as they start to fill. That could be a tough level to get through if that's the case, and it oftentimes creates a lot of resistance. Here we go. We're going to try it again. Can we get through it? Testing it. Yeah, this is an interesting one to watch on Bookmap. Struggling to get through that level. This could be dicey, guys. It's a really, really nice level to break through and see some continuation to the upside. But we could see some aggressive selling from up here. This could be dicey. Obviously, I got to hang on to it for right now. Just let the trade start to play out. I don't have to do anything, but I'm going to hang on to it for right now. Let the trade play out. Again, I'm going to look to take something off up here. I got one loaded up. I'm probably going to join ask. There we go. Starting to come through. Can we come through it? Or are we just going to wick? Come on, man. Let's see the break and continuation. There we go. I'm going to go stop loss to break even, guys. I'm taking one off right there. I'm going to hold the remainder for a crack up towards prior day high. But this could be some really aggressive selling that steps in from right here. So I'm going to be defensive on this. I'm going to be defensive. I just don't want to let it come all the way back down on me. We got a break. There's a continuation. Again, I'm taking some profit quick on this. Taking one more off right there. Stacking up a little bit of profit. Going to let the remainder of this run towards that 5,300 level. There we go. Nice crack to the upside. Again, man, you see how many times we hammered into that, even just on a 1-minute chart. I played that a little bit defensively just because I felt that if we wicked like this and we filled up here and that's all the market wanted to do and we wanted to pull back down towards VWAP, we could see a lot of aggressive selling pressure on that. So I'm stop loss to break even quickly. Again, I talk about not doing that, and I talk about just holding my trades and letting them run. On a day like today, markets like we had yesterday and the day before, if I don't have to take outsized losses on really, really fast market movements by being defensive and in turn maybe take stops for break even or for smaller profit, you know, and then watch the market move, I will do that. You know, I'm okay with that. So I'm going to hang on to this one. If it comes back down and stop me at break even, it's going to be small profit. I'm cool with that. Again, just, you know, reducing risk, keeping it tight. I want to see the break and continue, right? Buyer stepped in. We challenged this level multiple times. Big breakthrough. Can we break and retest this level? Sure. But I want to see this continue right here, right now. If this thesis is going to play, the final target up here at the 300s is the area that I want to hold towards. If not, I don't want it to come back down into this area. I think if we come up here and then come all the way back down, we got a chance maybe to come back down on this and run lows. So I'm going to hang on to it for now. Let's see if we take a stop at break even. We'll go from there. Risk-free trade. It's either going to be $3.75 on the remainder or somewhere up here, 167 or so bucks. Probably want to hold till right below that level. And we got profit. Got profit again. Copy trading across 3 accounts. Really small, like really small profit. I'm starting out pretty light. We'll see if we can't scale from here, right? You saw me take multiple trades yesterday. I'm going to continue to do that. I don't want to get wild right off the open, especially if I'm getting in there early. But we'll see if we get some continuation to the upside. Turn this into a decent win. There we go. We got some nice momentum. Let's see what's up, guys. What's up? If it sustains, we can see a super move to the upside, I guess. Yeah, maybe. How we doing? Good. This is the 1 minute and the 15 minute side by side. Cheryl, come on, pick a direction. It's frustrating. Yeah, this was a little bit choppy, right? This was a little bit choppy. Here's our 930 open. You know, back, forth. This looked good for a long to the upside. I did wait on this a little bit. I was tempted on it long all the way down here. I said I was tempted on it long right here. That one would have paid even nicer if I had an entry down here, that one that I was mapping out early. Yeah, no complaints, right? No complaints. Again, managing these trades a little bit more aggressively, right? I like to talk a lot about trade management because what you do after you get into the trade equal to, if not more important than what you do when you put the trade on, right? Everybody's strategy's out there. The approach is out there. How do you manage that trade? You know, do you go stop loss to break even? Do you scale in? Do you scale out? You know, how do you reduce risk? And that greatly affects your results. That really affects your trading results, right? Either in a positive or negative way. So again, in the market, when the market's moving really fast like this, we have aggressive movements back and forth on any type of news or somebody saying anything, and the market rips our faces off and just disrespects structure and price action and order flow. I want to be a little bit more cautious. And I do that by going stop loss to break even a little bit quicker, maybe scaling out of some or most, like I did here, a little bit quickly, right? That's kind of the thought process. Staying out for now. Will we go down to fill gap? Possibly. Right now, guys, again, here's what I'm looking at on Bookmap to the upside. We are still going to tag orders. This is why I like order flow. Does it always work this way? No. Here's what I was targeting. A strong level to get through. And here we are now looking like we want to come and check out the 90s. Come check out the 5290s. Here's my target up here around this big level that has stayed on the book for quite a while at this big round psychological number. Pretty obvious. You don't need order flow to tell you that we're probably going to have some business to be done up at a big round psychological number in the U.S. indices. Got to get through these levels first. We've been eating it up to the upside, but again, at any point up here, we could find some resistance. There we go, breaking through the 90s, trading out the 90s. I'm sitting on one contract, one micro. Again, trading light, man. These markets are wild. I don't need to take outsized losses. We'll see if we can't stack a little bit of profit in these accounts and then maybe scale from there, right? Take another trade where we get more risk on off the bat. You know, $500, $1,000 worth of risk. So let's see if we can't get some continuation. And on this trade specifically, right, I always talk about the good and the bad. You know, not scaling out in this instance would have helped me, right? If I had full contracts on up here at this level, I started with 3, right? You know, this already would be showing me $400 worth of profit, right? 107. Yeah, $400 worth of profit, right? So I'd already be able to have grabbed more than I already had and be done with the trade before this level. On another day, maybe we start to crack back down to the downside and I don't have my stop loss here and I realize 400 and some odd dollars worth of risk. So, trade management, a little bit more, you can call it conservative also, but a little bit more aggressive as far as the inputs, me scaling out, moving stop to break even, that type of stuff. So, but let's see what we could do in these straight to funded accounts, man. First day copy trading 3 of them. We're in the green, right? Risk-free trade. See where we go from here. See where we go from here. Okay, we got buyers trying the highs on this. Yeah, we got some at 95. We got some at 95, like right here. I don't know that we run the 300s. I'm going to take it right there, guys. I don't know that we go and run the 300s here. We've been coming through a lot of levels of liquidity on that. So I'm going to just go ahead and grab it right there. We'll see if we do just immediately crack right to the 300s. Really, none of these levels have acted as support. I'll show you why I'm taking profit there. This level that was, here we go up to the upside. This level was not really on the book heavily, right? The 300s. So as I'm in the trade, I'm watching what's happening on Bookmap, level 2 data. Here we go. We start to get a lot of orders up here, more and more and more stacking on the book. Not a massive amount, but here's the level that I was initially targeting, right? And, I'm cautious that we come up here and maybe we start to find some resistance. We pull back and we're going to, break and retest down here near my entry. Before maybe we continue on a larger move to the upside. So for those reasons, out of the trade, just under $300 times 3. Is it anything massive? No, $300 really not gonna move the needle an insane amount, but in profit. I'm up near $900 when you consider across 3 accounts. Let's see where we can go from here, right? Let the market do its thing. Maybe we get a retest and continuation, and we'll see how this management played out, right? So far, I would say not scaling would have helped me. Maybe stop loss to break even just a little bit quicker. Sorry, my entry was somewhere down here. Stop loss a little bit quicker to break even and just leaving the full position on. But you make your decisions as you see fit. And in these markets, I'm trying to find profit and grab it. If I'm going to hold for a larger move, I don't know that I want to have massive amount of risk on. Take my wins, get in, get out, get paid. That's the deal. So 1 win so far across 3 accounts. Nothing major. See if we get some continuation on the upside. I'm interested if we see this level. If we see this 5,300. I'm going to zoom out on this 15-minute chart. Yeah, next level is all the way up to the 5,400s. If we were really going to push the upside, right? Looking at this on the 15-minute chart, you can see where that's coming from. If the volume profile resets, you would really see where it's coming from. Well, it's actually even more zoomed out, but this is giving you a little bit of an idea. Conversely, we start to pull back. I think this level still could be challenged. If we came through that to the downside and through VWAP, I think we're seeing a really pretty big turn on the day. But we, cracked prior day high, continuing to push to the upside. Buyers are, at least for now, pushing this thing higher. So happy with that first trade. Nothing crazy, right? Nothing wild. We're getting in, getting out. See where we go from here. This is a pretty nice, bullish 15-minute candle. Pretty nice push to the upside after we check this low out. We can certainly start to run to the upside. This can absolutely be a larger movement. We'll just have to see. So again, I try to critique myself live here with you guys. I talk about it. Well, first off, if you're new here, I don't claim to be the best trader. I don't claim to know everything. I don't claim to have all the answers and never make mistakes. I don't have all the biggest payouts. I'm not on the leaderboards, all that fun stuff, right? I'm just here showing you what real trading looks like for me. Wins, losses, break-evens, run-ups, lost accounts, everything in between. So all that being said, the same way when I journal, I take a look at my trading kind of live, right? And I go, well, if I did something differently on this individual trade, how would that have played out for better or for worse? What did my trade management look like? What did my entry look like, right? Where did my stop loss go? And then kind of what happened after the fact. So far my note is this early entry would have been nice. On another day, we sell off, right? On another day, we don't have confirmation, and we're not pushing this high again. So I'm not dead set that I have to jump in there, and I'm probably not going to in the future. This is nice. Stop loss in a good spot, right? Couldn't have been really much tighter and comfortable on this. I like going stop loss to break even on this fairly quickly, because if after we push up, if we come back down through my entry, I just, I really wouldn't want to hold on to that. I don't know that I love the scale out of too quickly on this. I was cautious that we were going to come back down and rip to the downside, but holding that for a farther push up on the full position size, that would have paid. That would have paid a little bit better. And so far, we're going to see the close right above the 25s. If that would have paid, it wouldn't have. Didn't help me. Well, we didn't hit it yet, but we'll see. We come through the 300s, could have grabbed a couple more points on that final contract. Is that really a big deal? No, not really. We're probably talking about, 20, 30 bucks on one contract. Is that worth risking the, entire amount that's showing on that final contract? Maybe not. But I don't know that I'm going to pull that scale out move so aggressively in the future. I'd rather just be stopped to break even, grab my full profit. This one, I did feel we could see some volatility up here. A lot of levels to get through as we started to push through. But that's my trade management critique, right? Try to critique myself and figure out what I could do better. I don't usually scale out kind of aggressively like that, but again, was a little bit cautious as we started to come through those levels. Yeah, I appreciate you guys. Thank you for hopping on. So we're talking about John. Up for the day. What's up, chat? I'll say what's up to you guys. Up for the day, 890 and 2 trade to fight evals. Very nice. Requested a payout for my top step XFA, so can't trade that right now. Just watching the pen. Beautiful, man. Beautiful. Getting paid. Love to hear it. Wolf says, even in pre-market, they're showing huge wicks to the upside, but the next candle, it clears, and then rinse and repeat. Yep. It's dangerous. Congrats, John, for sure. Love your trading. I appreciate that. Thank you. Nothing magical here, right? Just the basics, regular stuff. Nothing crazy. Simple stuff. A giveaway. Yeah, we got a giveaway running. Zach is one of the few trading channels I follow. I appreciate you, man. Thank you very much. I appreciate all you guys being here. I really do. It'd be really boring if I was here talking to myself, so thanks for being here. People, MNQ and NQ trading at 4.3%. Be careful. You can't trade beyond 5%. MES is approaching 4%. Please keep those a tab on those levels. Yep. So again, if you're trading with Top Step, past 5% up or down on the day, you cannot trade. If you're with any other firm, the price limit, the CME price limit, which is 7% here on ES, is going to be the circuit breaker, and you really don't want to be locked in a position as we go up and hit that or down and hit that. So I would be cautious around those levels. Again, if you're with Top Step, as we approach 5%, I would be really, really cautious. And, I would not be holding trades into that. I did have a couple people note. I commented on a couple, things, and I made a couple videos. I had a handful full of people note that you just get liquidated. The way that I read the rules, it's prohibited. It's under their prohibited trading deal. So I wouldn't test it. But a lot of guys have said you just get liquidated. It's not like, the account's gone. So do with that information as you will. I can't confirm or deny that. Here on top one, there isn't a rule against it. They caution you, but once you approach that price limit, you don't want to be locked, limit up or down with where the market gets halted, because when it opens up, there's likelihood of extreme volatility and, low liquidity and maybe a gap, and that could quickly result in a lost account very quickly, an outsized loss, or, maybe an outsized gain, but that could quickly act as a blown account. So I would be cautious with that for sure. Auto liquidate incoming. Yeah. Watching the market kind of chop up here. Didn't come into that level. Last level on the book. It's still there. We got about 400 orders showing on the DOM, on the current order book. We got some more up at the 325s. If we start to break through this, though, guys, I think we're headed up here. I think we're headed to 400. I don't know if we come back down and retest this area, test VWAP. That would make sense, but this looks like we just break and run. You know, if I was just trading off this chart right here, I'd be looking long, you know, above this stop loss where I had it, and you could hold that bad boy for a big movement to the upside, way up to this next area of high volume. You know, conversely, if we're gonna chop, if we're gonna pull back, if it's gonna kind of turn out to be just a not so crazy day to the upside, I think we come back down. But I may look for this long again, man. If we break this level, maybe get a retest down here and then see strength again, kind of like what we saw right here, I'm gonna run that back. I'm gonna try to hang on to it. So we'll see. But in and out first, grab some profit, and we'll see if we can't keep the show moving, man. I think we're gonna run these highs, man. I think we might run these highs. But we got somebody was asking about giveaway. Let me show you guys what we got. These are Top 1 Futures accounts. If you guys aren't aware, Top 1 Futures is the new kid on the block when it comes to straight to funded on Project X prop firms in the futures market. They are coming from a long-standing CFD and Forex broker, Top 1 Trader, been in the market for years, millions of dollars in payouts. You can check them out. Their reviews on Trustpilot, they're on Prop for a Match. Again, this is Top 1 Trader, the company that launched Top 1 Futures. And again, guys, before I go further, I'm affiliated with them. I'm partnered with them. I stand to make money from all this. It's important that you know that I can't be unbiased. But here is the giveaway: 550K accounts, eval accounts. Any purchase gets you an entry to win. Along with that, 50% off. I'm going to show you the site real quick so you guys know what we're looking at, man, because it's pretty wild. 50% off these straight to funded accounts. If you scroll down right here, instant sim funded, $399 puts you in the 150K account that you see me here trading. $6,000 max loss limit. Really, really sweet rules on these. You do have a consistency rule, which is important to look at. You can only copy trade 3 accounts. Make sure you run through all of the information, and what I recommend everybody do, come to this frequently asked questions page right here and run through every single one of these. And then if you still have questions past that, hit me up or hop right in their free Discord. There's mods in there ready to answer questions. Hit their support up, right? Test them for yourself and get any answers to your questions. But I'm bullish on it, super bullish on it. Obviously, I'll be here trading these live with you guys, seeing if I can't work my way towards a payout. Pretty sweet. You only have to get to past a 2% on the account following all the other rules, and you are able to request minimum payout amount is 2%. So $3,000 on a 150K account. Pretty damn sweet. Now, do you want to just put an account at risk by taking so much profit out? No, probably not, right? You want to get above that by quite a bit. But I really like the flexibility out of them. $5,000 max withdrawal. Pretty sweet. Really solid options in other areas as well, as far as their rule set. But do your own research, make your own decisions. It's important. So we had to crack through that 5,300. Orders filled. Here we go. Looking at the market together with you guys. Orders did fill. A lot of volatility right there at that level. No big surprise, right? It is a big round psychological number as well. I'm sure we got a lot of people getting involved outside of what we could see on the book. But that one would have filled. So again, I have to take a look at my trading and say, you know, if I'm hopping in right down here, 3 micros on, 140 ticks, that one could have been a nicer winner for me, 143 ticks is what I was just measuring there. Yeah, could have easily seen over 500 across 3 rather than my 300. But on another day, maybe that comes back down on me and I'm not able to realize, a little bit smaller profit. But I try to, pay attention to that stuff and always be looking to adjust, to improve in any way that I can. What's up, guys? I see we got some new people hopping in the Discord. What's up? Welcome to the show. If you are here and you're not in the free Discord, I run a 100% free Discord community. I'll drop the link in the chat right here. Boom. 100% free trading Discord community, not a VIP feeder program. None of that BS. I'm here live every day, answering questions, talking about the markets, trading straight from my platforms. No gatekeeping on that stuff. Brian, what's up? Good morning, man. Made 300 trading MES. I wanted to take another trade to reach 450 or 500, but then I realized maybe a little greedy. Not getting in this market chop isn't great, so locked up and fine. Awesome, man. Yeah. Listen, guys, don't be don't be greedy. Don't try to push it. Don't try to go for some arbitrary number. That never seems to work out well. I wouldn't do that. I find myself doing that, and it usually goes poorly. Let me put it that way. So take what the market gives you, man. It's different on every day, right? Wolf, you talked about it here with me for a while. It's different every day. I'm not going for this massive profit now. Some days I'll have a larger day than what I'm working on right now, but it's different. As long as you can keep it big green, small green, break even, or small red, and you avoid the big red day, you're gonna be okay in the long run, right? Let those trades play out. Let the market give you what it's gonna give you. Don't expect something extremely consistent, because that's just not how the market functions. And I think you put yourself in a tough spot if you do that every single day to say, I'm going to make $1,000. I'm going to make, $500. I'm going to make, $5,000. Market just doesn't work that way. Take your trades as you see fit. But take what the market gives you and try not to place these arbitrary numbers on the market to give you. I just don't think it works well. Yeah, man. Listen. Trade your system, trade your approach. I have not been on the stream. I would have definitely done it. Zach Psychology keeps me in check. Yeah, listen, guys. Trade your approach, trade your system, right? If your system calls you for you to keep trading, keep trading. If you're going to take another trade because you ended at 300 and you want 500, that's not good trading, in my humble opinion, right? We work with some interesting dynamics in the prop firm world, so some of this does come into play. But in general, in that case, I think it's qualifying as trading your P&L, right? And we know that the market doesn't give anything, doesn't care at all about me and you in our sim-funded accounts here in our P&L. It does not care. So now you're forcing something that has nothing to do with the market, with an edge in the market, with the ability to structure risk, in the desire to increase your P&L. And that layer is just not helpful. Unfortunately, it's more harmful than it is helpful. So recognize that if you can, and do your thing. Again, if your strategy tells you to take 47 trades and that's your back tested and forward tested deal, and you do your thing, right? Nothing wrong with that. But pushing for the sake of P&L almost always ends poorly. For me, almost always. That one last trade, the one more trade, is an absolute killer, man. Absolute killer. I don't like that. Appreciate you guys being on with me, though. Seeing if we don't get something else. We're coming up on this 10:30 time frame, man. I don't know that I'm going to find my way in on real small profit to try to take this to the upside. I mean, on real small pullbacks, excuse me, to take this to the upside. There's options to do it. We keep pushing the upside. We keep breaking. So, there's movement here. We don't have a ton more on the book to the upside. We have some down that we came into at 52.90 right here. So I think we're likely to come and check this level out again, maybe test prior day high. But I'm not going to find my way in just yet. I'd like some kind of pullback, something that's more noticeable, and then a continuation to take it again and say, I think now we're really going to push to the upside. And try to keep myself out of something where maybe we just drift or we chop kind of heavily and it would take me out. Or we come back down to test VWAP. We come back down to this, bottom of this area of volume. See, there we go. Coming through that 90s, hitting prior day high. Now, does this hold like a beast? Does this hold? Do we sweep these lows and then aggressively come back up? I could look at it long on that, but I'm going to stay patient on this for now. But if you're on here with me, I appreciate you. Smash the like button, smash subscribe. You don't have to do anything. Free means free, but it helps me out. If you're new, like I said, hop in the free Discord. Check me out on socials. Watch the streams, right? I'm releasing a ton of videos on YouTube these days. I got Project X tutorials. Hopefully I'll have them all posted today. I got a ton of tutorials on Project X, kind of just going over the basics, right? Setting the chart up from scratch, looking at the different components, some of the risk settings, how to copy trade, how to set up hotkeys, some of the charts and data things. But helpful resources, I think, if you are maybe new to the platform or you just want some additional tips and tricks. Let's see, man. Let's see. Yeah, watching this hit prior day high, hung out here for a little bit, and maybe want to come back down through it. I'm gonna have to see what this looks like. Just kind of staying patient on this, guys. Don't have a setup forming right here, right now. There's another opportunity long if you wanted to take it. Really aggressively with a stop just all the way up here. But I'm hanging on this for now. Oh, man. But again, on my fresh top 1 futures 150Ks. Not too fresh. Been working on them. If you guys have any questions on that, feel free, let me know. If you want to check it out for yourself, link is everywhere, down below the video, above the video. 50% off and an entry to win one of 5 50K eval accounts. Code RDF gets you the best deal. Remember, I can't be unbiased. I stand to make money. I'm a partner. Yeah, I'm just checking out NQ on my second screen. Checking out YM. Yeah, these are just grinding to the upside, man. This could just be a slow drift. This could just be a slow drift higher, not really give us any of those big pullbacks that we're anticipating. That would be kind of indicative of how the market usually operates, right? Like, it's going crazy the last couple of days, huge pullbacks, back and forth action, and now we're kind of just going to calmly drift on the 1-minute chart to the upside, not really give us a whole bunch of pullbacks or anything that we might anticipate. But we come back up through this high. There's a trade right here. If I wanted to be a little bit more aggressive with it, again, not going to take it until we really get some break above, but that could be a movement. It could be something that you hold for a really long period of time and go stop loss to break even. Could just be a quick 1-to-1, up towards the 325s where we have some liquidity up here. I could see it. Because again, I think if we come down through this low again, back down to this level, we're probably continuing lower. Probably going to at least come back down in here, check this kind of temporary volume point of control out, maybe back down to this level. It's not a bad setup for a trade. I just don't know that we get a big bullish bar out of this. That's an option. Again, simple break and retest market structure, utilizing volume tools. We're above VWAP, pushing to the upside for pre-market, for overnight session, breaking to the upside for NYSE session, coming through levels above prior day high. right? You know, it's following the trend, finding a way to structure risk. You know, can we come down and test this level? Yeah, it's kind of why I don't like it. This just isn't a really clean invalidation point. Now, had we already done something like this, I'll tell you how I'm in long. Had we done something like this, you know, maybe a wick down here or just a pull back down, kind of back through these and then up here, and then a continuation here, I'm long. I'm long with a wider stop, you know, small size, because now I really think we've taken everybody out that we needed to. Sellers had a chance to bring this thing lower. Can we continue back down from up there? Sure, but I think it's less likely, and now we have a cleaner invalidation point. This isn't bad. You know, this isn't bad. We're holding structure here. We just didn't really get that, like, take everybody out that got long at all. And I love to see that. I love to see that frustrating movement from the market and then get in after it. Again, which is just simple break and retest structure, but just with more of a pullback. So, I don't know that I want to break out of these highs. 25s have liquidity. I can get rid of this. That's kind of the last spot. We've got about 100 at 305. Yeah, here we go, selling off. Got about 100 at 305. Another 100 at 10 at 53.10. And then 128 is what's showing right now exactly on the book above. Above that, at the 350s, we got orders. I'm zooming out really, really far on bookmap, all the way down at 5200 down here. Below VWAP, if we sold off, we've got about 200 on the book down here, so that's a considerable amount. So I'm going to wait on this. I'm starting to get a little choppy here. Here's our pullback, sweeping below those lows. Can we come back into overnight high? Let's see what happens there. Checking some stuff out on the side here. Yeah, I appreciate you guys hopping on, man. See, we got a bunch of people hopping on. I appreciate you. Smash like, smash subscribe. You don't have to do anything. If you want to check out the straight to funded, no evaluation prop firm accounts that I'm trading with you right here, right now, link is in the chat. It's pinned. Link is in the description of this video. Straight to funded, no evaluation, 50% off, and an entry to win one of 5 50Ks. Talked about that giveaway a couple times. Again, can't be unbiased. I stand to make money. I am partnered, affiliated, whatever you want to call it. Love the negative risk to reward videos. Yeah, oh yeah, I appreciate you, man. What's up? What's up, brother? Familiar face. Familiar username. Bouncing off the 5230 pullback VWAP. Yeah, kind of topping a little bit, right? Not as clean break and retest structure to the upside. Kind of an indecision. 15-minute candle slowing to the upside. 1 minute chart, which I know and love. We're kind of coming over to the right? So we're losing a little bit of steam. You know, here was our continuation. Here was our nice push up after kind of some chop down here. Here was another push up. Okay, we came back in. Now we're chopping. We're putting in some, you know, lower highs on the 1 minute. You know, this is low time frame stuff. But we're not just, you know, picking up strength, right, and increasing this move to the upside. Now we're starting to come over to the right-hand side. So volume dying down a little bit. Maybe buyers, you know, losing a little bit of this control. Again, I could still see this as a move to the upside. I don't know that I want to try to just take it from up all the way up here and say we're not going to get any pullback down to this level, and we're just going to continue to take this out. I think it's not a bad trade. Conversely, shorts up here, sure. You know, if you say, hey, man, we're at prior day high. We've been hanging out up here. I got a clean way to structure risk. I think we're going to see VWAP, you know, maybe now, maybe over the next, you know, longer period of time. And, you know, you want to start taking short trades really aggressively up here, you know, kind of fading this movement. I don't think there's anything wrong with that either. You know, let's make the case for both. Just what is your strategy? What is your approach? You know, how are you going to trade the market with some consistency day over day? Because if you're fighting the trend on Monday and then trying to trade with the trend on the other day and then trading ranges on Wednesday, you're just never going to allow yourself odds to play out in your favor, you know. Yeah, this might try it, man. I'm tempted on the long up here. I actually am. We come back up to see these highs. I might have to do it. Yeah, it's not a great risk structure. It's not a wonderful risk structure for a breakout move, right? Because I'd be taking it up here. Just to get below this low, I'm going to have to put on 110 point ticks, right? And then to the upside, where's 110 ticks? All the way up here through the 25s. You know, I don't know that we get that. Looking on Bookmap, just to show you guys, you know, we do have stuff up there all the way up to the 25s. We have liquidity that looks like we want to come through the 310s. I would see that potentially quickly. But then to come all the way up here, we do have to run quite a bit where there's not much. And I'd be asking for, I think, a lot for that breakout to the upside. It would really have to be a big continuation. So I don't know that I love the risk structure, like just to get to a one-to-one. That's my thought here. That's my thought. So I'm sitting patient. I don't know that I'm going to take it. I'll kind of have to see what happens if we come up to it. Down here would be better, right? You know, if you wanted a better entry, if you were just going to take a continuation out of this kind of consolidation here, you know, you could easily run something like that, and you would just need kind of a crack of the highs. But you know, you're not waiting for really structure or price action to show you that we're actually looking like we want to continue the upside. And this isn't like an aggressive pullback and continuation, right?
The ones like you working tired.
Sorry, get rid of that. Get some music back on. This isn't really an aggressive pullback and continuation, right? So my reading of market structure, you know, as we start to do this, it's different than if we hit this level here, hit this level, swept down, and then we had a badass bullish, you know, candle with a lot of volume behind it, right? That gives me a lot of indication that we're gonna, you know, rip our face off to the upside. That's not what we did. We're hanging out up here, and now we're doing this. Do I just want to get involved right here and say I think we're about to blast off? You know, not really. It's not the same structure. It's not the same price action. So and volume. So for those reasons, I'm hanging tight on this. I still think we continue to the upside. I think this on a higher time frame chart and the 15-minute chart, a push to the upside here would look clean, but just as easily, I think we can start to pull back. We just didn't get a test of this area again, which would have been nice. Take everybody out of longs that has a stop over here, which the market loves to do, and then continue. But I think we may be in for that kind of slow drift that nobody's really anticipating. Market's so volatile. We come into Tuesday, it calms down. It's not selling off, and we just are like, all right, here we go. Just check out all the levels up above, and you know, who's going to just hop into these little trades and hang on all day to the upside? You know, market loves to do that. Loves to do the opposite of what everybody's anticipating. Oh, man. Bullish flag. Yeah, you could be trading these as bull flags, right? You know, if that's your MO, if that's your style for entry, you know, you could be drawing your lines here and grabbing, you know, bull flag type entries. Nothing wrong with that. Entering after pullbacks. Just hanging tight on this one. I don't know. I don't know that I like it. Don't know that I like it. You know, gun to my head, which I say sometimes, not a great saying, but gun to my head, you say you got to put a trade on right here, right now. I'm long, just following structure and price action. I'm long to, you know, 53.25 or 53.10 at least. I don't have a gun to my head, so I don't have to take a trade. But I could just as easily see this coming back down. Yeah, now's the opportunity for long if you want to see it. Bullish, you know, some bullish candles forming. Looks like we want to come above these highs and at least check it out. I think even if we are going to come lower, a sweep above here is not a bad move, right? I think we could easily see 15 points to the upside. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And you could just grab a quick, something like a quick 1-to-1. Even if we are going to continue lower, right? I think, coming up here to sweep these highs one more time, it could be in store. So we'll see. We'll see how my read of the market goes today. I'm just not going to put risk on for it on this one. Bleh. Yeah, bleh, right? What this is bleh, Wolf. I'm not a super duper fan of this. This is not very directional, right? And I don't know how many more times it's going to do this, right? It would come up here and then come back down here, right? And then come back up here and then come back down here. It's what it's been doing. So again, gun to my head, I'm long, but I don't have a gun to my head. Thankfully, hopefully not anytime soon. But again, man, appreciate you guys being on with me. It's awesome to have a community that comes, hangs out, trades live with me. It's good stuff, man. Oh, excuse me. Oh, excuse me, guys. Just hanging out, just checking out some other stuff on the second screen. Just trying to get a feel for what we're looking at here, across these U.S. indices. Yeah, choppy up here, man. I don't like this too much, guys. I don't know that I like this that much. This is choppy. This is looking awfully choppy. Don't like it. What's up, guys? Anyone else using moving averages? Though we would enjoy trading this range, I guess. Yeah, man. Though we would clean up here. Yeah, here we go. Kind of breaking the downside. So that long play, wouldn't have been playing too nice with me from the middle of that consolidation. Again, I'm waiting on it, not taking it, but my read isn't beautiful. So again, out of this chop, I'm hanging. Yeah, anyone else using moving averages? Moving averages can be pretty sweet. Moving averages can be pretty sweet, just like anything else. Personally, I like volume tools. I like the VWAP. But I go back and forth looking at moving averages all the time. There's no problem to take a look at something like that, especially on higher time frames. They can give you a really good view. Is this real time? Yeah, as close to real time as it can get with YouTube. There is a delay on YouTube of definitely a bit. I have this set to ultra low latency, so it can be as fast as it can be on YouTube. This way I can talk to you guys. You can see what's going on. We can interact with the chat, all those good things. But yeah, this would be trading live, brother. If you get caught trading in the blah, would closing within 15 seconds or less be okay with top one futures? So yeah, it would. They have a rule against trades under 10 seconds, But even that is for repeat like excessive violations. So let me try to pull it up and we can read the rules together. Most, not most, but some accounts do have that. Let's read this. Yeah, so here's their breakdown on it. I was trying to find it here. Here's their breakdown on it. It's a good question. So they have a 10-second minimum hold time rule, right? But the way that it's implied is important, right? And here's how we would read it. It's pretty simple, right? They don't want you to open and close a trade within 10 seconds. And I think it would be difficult if they said, well, any trade that's open and closed in 10 seconds doesn't count, or you immediately lose your account, right? Because maybe it rockets to a stop loss, a take profit. That's going to be really hard to control if you want to manage risk. And that's not what they're doing. Obviously they try to avoid that super high frequently scalping. They try to avoid bots and EAs. Tradeify has a rule similar to this. It's 5 seconds or longer for 50% or more of your profit. Here's how these guys are defining it. Occasional violations are understandable and won't immediately result in penalties. However, consistently opening and closing trades in less than 10 seconds may lead to profit removal or disqualification. So they talk about it. They kind of explain why, other, repeat things that they don't want. Let's see if I can find another comment on it. No, that's the one where they talk about it. But yeah, that could be, it's something to pay attention to. Could be an issue if you are a super duper scalper, right? If you're looking at really, really aggressively scalping for, a couple ticks on NQ, top one probably not going to be a great fit. Top Step doesn't have a rule like that. Some of the other firms don't have a rule like that. But they do have that minimum 10-second trade rule. Again, the way that it's explained, and I asked about it myself, they just don't want to support anyone trading in that under 10-second time frame, regularly. So is it going to happen for everybody? Yeah, definitely. You're probably going to watch me take a stop loss in 10 seconds or less at one point, or take profit in 10 seconds or less, something that just rockets to your, your take profit or stop loss. Obviously, that's cool. They won't want to see, somebody that's scalping, in and out, 2-3 seconds at a time. They also say, like, if you add, then that contract is, a kind of a new position, that type of deal. So that's what they're looking at. But yeah. Yep. But yeah, guys, go through this for sure, right? Go through this in detail. This is similar to how you see it from, other large firms. They have a frequently asked questions page. This is all of your little detailed, nuanced, every little possible thing you can think of, thing that you need to pay attention to. So I've read these for every firm that I'm with. I try to go back and review every once in a while, although I'm not, not perfect. But I highly recommend that you do that, right? The main pages of these sites are just going to give you the general stuff, right? They're going to give you the max loss limit, the daily loss limit, all of these things. But you do need to go to the frequently asked questions page to understand that, that piece. Understand about, what they're not going to see as okay. So, important to do. Straight from the homepage, head to frequently asked questions, run through everything. And then if you have any other questions about the firm, rules, anything, hit them up, right? And I think that's a good test to do. I used to like to do that when I was really nervous coming over from Forex and CFD scam prop firms, back in the past. I would hit up support. I would kind of bother them a little bit and just ask questions like, what if this happens? What if this happens? Get the answers before you get involved. Don't just throw your money somewhere and then go, oh, wait a minute, I didn't know. Meanwhile, it's a clearly posted, thing to do. So understand the consistency rule. I think that's really important. Understand the minimum profit and kind of how that works. The drawdowns are very important with prop firms, all of that stuff. So, and if you have questions and you're in my community, hit me up, man. I'm happy to talk about it. Happy to support anybody that wants to check this out, especially if you're considering supporting me and using a code. So, appreciate you guys. Moving averages. Yeah, just to see what it looks like. 5 and 10 SMA. 70-point candle on the MNQ. Ooh. Yeah, NQ's moving, man. So 70.8 ain't much. Ain't much these days, Wolf, which is crazy. It's ridiculous. It's really what it is. Yeah, so we're selling back off from here, guys. Coming back down towards VWAP. I'm just resetting both of these charts. Sometimes when I flip around the volume tools, the volume tools get jacked up. It's one thing that I notice on Project X. It's across other prop firms that have Project X. So that is just one thing I noticed with this platform. For whatever reason, if you switch between screens, if you switch between instruments, if you do weird stuff, you refresh, always scroll out and then scroll back in. And it lets your volume tools reset. Or flip time frames and then scroll out and scroll back in. For whatever reason, that seems to solve the problem of VWAP being in the wrong place, which regularly occurs. I just don't know why. It doesn't happen on TradingView, but something that I notice. So, and that can be important, right? If you're using a VWAP in your strategy or your approach, and all of a sudden it's a couple points off or many points off because you're super zoomed in on a low time frame chart and it didn't reset, that could be a problem. So yeah, we're kind of just slowly drifting, selling off here. This was obviously some selling pressure to the downside. If you were looking for a reversion and you wanted to wait, you had your topping up here and then continual breaks of lows without coming back above highs. If you wanted to get aggressive and, head towards, not really aggressive, but if you wanted to head towards VWAP, something like that could have been in store, still is in store, right? You could take it from down here and say, here's my nice, take profit. Nothing wrong with that. Pretty counter on the day, kind of counter on what we're seeing. If we're going to hold this structure, I think a bounce down here or maybe before here could be in store. But this is what I was cautious of, not getting long up here. Just that we might not continue, right? We saw volume start to die out. We saw price action and structure start to come over to the outside. Why did I not get long? For these reasons, just not as clear cut of direction and momentum to the upside, right? Not a continuation in price action and market structure. Again, I did say gun to my head, I'm long, and I would have been stopped out had I did, right? I would have taken it somewhere on one of these pushes up, maybe even right there, out of this consolidation. But no need to. When we're chopping around like this, I really try my best not to get involved. I do, and I will here live, and most of the time it's not a fun outcome in the chop. I just don't trade ranges. It's not my deal. At least here on ES, I've worked on some different stuff on NQ, the super scalping stuff. But yeah, so for that, we're kind of just hanging out here, watching this drift lower. I don't know that we see a lot of momentum pick up. Let's take a look at the news on the calendar for the rest of the week while we are checking this out, talking about momentum potentially picking up. This is forexfactory.com. You can look at a million different sites. This is just the one that I've been used to for years. Really not much. I know we have a lot of speakers today, which is not showing on here. We got quite a bit of different speakers today. We do have Trump speaking at 6:45. That's dangerous. Yeah, so he's going to comment at some point. Obviously, I think it'd be very uncommon if he didn't comment on the markets. But we don't have much tomorrow until 2 p.m. where we have FOMC meeting minutes. I'm definitely not going to want to be trading into that. Then we do have some red folder news coming up for prime time Thursday and Friday. We have core CPI and core PPI, both of those being red folder events. Unemployment Thursday as well, and some additional stuff on Friday as well. 8:30 and 10, that one sucks. That's right during main trading time frame. A lot of FOMC speakers here during NYSE session as well. That's a little bit tough. So, we'll have to see how this works out. Again, guys, this is just a financial news site, forexfactory.com. You can use Market Juice. You can use Market Watch, like a million other, not Market Juice, excuse me, Financial Juice. You can use the tool inside of Project X itself, but it's good to be aware of financial news events, even if you're not going to try to interpret them, which I don't, and say, I think it's going to go up or down. At 8:30 on Thursday, there's probably going to be a big candle that prints. Easy to say that. So, Yeah, and on that note, guys, yeah, we're coming up on an hour and a half. I'm going to wrap it up here. I just don't see much out of this. I'll set some alerts, right? I'll probably set some alerts around VWAP down here, some alerts back up here into the afternoon. Maybe look to take something for a larger move that may continue. But just not a whole lot of movement. Now we're starting to drift lower. This steam has, at least for now, died off. Maybe this continues and we just blast to the upside, but just not what I need to trade. Very, very slow grind on the 1 minute. You can see, just kind of trickling to the downside after trickling to the upside. So for those reasons, I'm going to wrap it up. Remember, guys, first off, if you're checking out the straight to funded prop firms on Top 1 Futures that I am trading, code RDF, 50% off and an entry to win one of 5 50Ks. Along with that, remember, I'm not a financial advisor. I don't provide financial advice. Nothing I say or do is a suggestion or recommendation to do anything at all for entertainment purposes only. I'm just an idiot here yapping on YouTube about trading. Do your own research. Make your own trading decisions. Trading's risky. Most traders lose money. Read CFTC Rule 4.41 on simulated trading, which is what this is, even in funded prop firm accounts, and the affiliate and partnership disclaimer that says I stand to make money from links in my content, including this Top 1 stuff. Talk to you guys soon. Appreciate you. Thanks for streaming. Absolutely. Remember, guys, see you guys in Discord. Hop in the free Discord. Hit subscribe. Smash the like button. If you are new here and you want to chat next time, subscribe so you can chat next time. Talk to you guys in Discord. See you live the rest of the week. Talk to you soon.